Hello and welcome to Penalty on the Podcaster. I just want to talk, where I just talk about things related to the NFL that I want to talk about, that I find interesting. This episode, it's a little late. It's a day later than I would have liked for it to come out. Aaron Rodgers. It is all about Aaron Rodgers and his trade to the New York Jets. It finally happened. And so I will be talking about his trade to the Jets and what that means and whether it's a good trade or a bad trade and all of that. So before we get to the content, some messages. This is an unsponsored podcast. If you would like to sponsor this podcast, my email is in the description. If you would like to contact me for whatever reason, my email is in the description. This podcast is available on YouTube, Spotify, RSS Community, and Google Podcasts. To find links to the other platforms, to this show on the other platforms, look in the description. Simple as that. If you are on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Helps the channel grow. Takes about a second. It costs nothing, and you can always change your mind later. Also, if you're on YouTube, ding that bell. If you're on the other platforms, follow. Never miss an episode. There will be a ton coming out. From this week, from today when it's coming out, it's April 26th, 2023. Episodes coming out every day until next Monday, except for Saturday. No breaks except for Saturday. And so, yeah. Also, if you could spread the word, that would be great. The best way for this show to grow and for you to help out with the show is one of the simplest. Spread the word. Word of mouth is one of the main ways that this show spreads. So if you have a friend who likes football, who might like the show, or just you're talking with someone who likes football, maybe mention the show. And that's a great way for me to get viewers or listeners, depending on if it's YouTube or one of the podcast apps. And it costs nothing, and it can be just thrown out in a conversation. All right, on to the content. So, yes, Aaron Rodgers got traded. We waited for months for this to happen, and they did, to the Jets. And so, let's talk about the compensation. So, per Adam Schefter, who, if you don't know, is one of the top writers covering football, and whatever he says, it's basically guaranteed to be true. So according to Adam Schefter, Jets get Aaron Rodgers, pick number 15, and a 2023 fifth rounder. Yes, they are getting a first rounder as well as Aaron Rodgers. Packers get pick number 13, so they're moving up 2 spots in the first round of the 2023 draft. A 2023 second rounder, a 2023 sixth rounder, a conditional 2024 second rounder that becomes a first if Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps. It's interesting compensation because the Jets are also getting a first rounder, and in the 2023 first round, they're only moving down 2 spots. And that might be the only first rounder they trade away if Rodgers plays under 65% of his snaps. And honestly, I don't think the Jets are getting like a good end out of this. It would be much worse if they didn't get a first rounder out of this too. But, I mean, look at his stats. He's got under 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. Are there worse quarterbacks? Absolutely. Is he at his peak? Is he one of the best quarterbacks ever? Or, actually, yes, he is. Is he one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now? Absolutely not. He is definitely in his decline, and he is 39 years old. He is so old. right now. So he's not going to be playing for a while. I doubt he is going to put the Jets in a Super Bowl. I doubt that he's going to be the great quarterback the Jets want. Better than Zach Wilson, but I doubt he's going to be that great. And he's not a long-term solution. He's 39, and he said he has no intention of playing how old Tom Brady is. He is just not. I don't think he's a good solution. And a thing though, I think what the Jets are getting is a good mentor to Zach Wilson, someone who can train him until he can be a long-term starter, a good long-term starter for New York. Because right now he is basically the only thing holding him back, with guys like Denzel Mims, I'm blanking. Elijah Moore, Breece Hall, and they have like 3 Pro Bowlers in the secondary. DJ Reed, one more, and Sauce Gardner. Of course, Sauce Gardner, the defensive rookie of the year, and the offensive rookie of the year, Garrett Wilson too. So Zach Wilson is not without weapons, and Aaron Rodgers won't be either. Also, Quinnen Williams is a great defensive tackle. So the Jets, really the only thing holding them back, the only things holding them back are being the Jets, being choking a lot, yeah, which I guess is a subsection of being the Jets, and their quarterback play, Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson has been quite horrible, and he has shown no leadership, no responsibility whatsoever. He led his team to a loss. He played terribly. When asked if he thought that was his fault, which it was, he said no. And so I think the best the Jets can hope for is that Rodgers teaches the young Zach Wilson to be a good quarterback and a good leader, and to take responsibility for his actions and for his team. A good leader, example of a quarterback, takes responsibility when his team blows games. A bad quarterback like Zach Wilson, a bad leader for Zach Wilson will defer responsibility to his team when he loses the game. Now, I'm not saying if a team totally messes it up and drops every pass that it's the quarterback's fault. But like, a good leader should be like, yeah, it's my fault too. Zach Wilson is like, none of it's my fault. And so I think that's part of what makes him bad. He's not a good teammate for that. And hopefully for the Jets, Aaron Rodgers can make him into a responsible person, a responsible leader, a good leader, and a good quarterback. I don't think they will cut or trade or get rid of Zach Wilson in any way, because Rodgers has got a couple of years left, and then the Jets will be looking for options. I don't think that they should move on from Zach Wilson yet, even though he has played horribly. I think that there's got to be a little, wiggle room for him, with his only quarterbacks to look up to. Well, Mike White was good and to teach him, but and an ancient Joe Flacco. So maybe Aaron Rodgers is really good, and where he is today with his Super Bowl ring and everything, partly because for years he was behind Brett Favre. And yes, their relationship was bad. There have been reports and all that. But learning from such a great quarterback, one of the all-time greats, I mean, he's even got the same throwing motion jump pass as Brett Favre. So that's part of what made him such a good quarterback, a good mentor to teach him. And so that's something that Zach Wilson hasn't really had. So hopefully Zach Wilson will get that in Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers will be able to teach him how to be a good quarterback. And then Zach Wilson, if this is successful and Aaron Rodgers can make Zach Wilson into a good quarterback, then Zach Wilson can go and maybe lead the Jets to a Super Bowl. Because I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers is not leading the Jets to a Super Bowl with the kind of decline he's having and his age. I doubt in like the 2 or 3 years this guy's got left in the league that he will lead the Jets to a Super Bowl, particularly with the decline in his play, and like it's been a big decline. He has not played that well. Of course, he threw 26 touchdowns to 12 interceptions, but even that's not good. Like Patrick Mahomes, I think, had like 12 interceptions, and he had over 40 touchdowns. So it's definitely off a cliff for Rodgers, especially coming off a 37 touchdown to 4 interception season with over 4,000 yards. So yeah, Rodgers is going down, but I think and I doubt he will make them a super team. He does not make them a super team, in my opinion, and I doubt he will lead them past the divisional round. But I think what the Jets can really get out of this is someone to help Zach Wilson become the quarterback and the leader that the Jets can rely on for many years. And because like the 2021 draft class of quarterbacks, especially in the first round, like Mac Jones, okay, was good in 2021, not as good in 2022, but he can be better. And one of the episodes coming out soon is about him. And of course, not Trey Lance. Trey Lance has barely started. I don't think he's good. I think he's overrated. I made an episode about that. It was one of the first I Just Want to Talk episodes. Go looking for it. It's great, in my opinion. And but Trevor Lawrence has done some spectacular stuff, and then there's Justin Fields, who is just incredible. So really, the only player who has started a bunch of games and just shown to be and has just like shown that they're terrible is Zach Wilson. Trey Lance is overrated and not that good, don't get me wrong, but like he's only had like one start. He's had 2 starts, and in one of them he got injured and out for the season. So that's different. But I think the most benefit that the Jets can get out of Aaron Rodgers is making Zach Wilson into like a reliable option for the Jets in the years moving forward. That's really all I have. This is a short episode. And oh yeah, I think the trade compensation is fair. But that's all I have for this episode. If you'd like to sponsor this podcast, it's unsponsored, or contact me for whatever reason. My email is in the description. This podcast is available on YouTube, Spotify, RSS Community, and Google Podcasts. The link to those will be in the description. And I forgot to say this. RSS.com community is the recommended way of listening because you can view the transcripts there. Also, make sure to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Help the channel grow. Takes about a second, costs nothing, and you can always change your mind later. Ding the bell or follow to never miss an episode. There will be so many episodes coming out. The best way you can help the show grow is to spread the word, talk to your friends, just tell them about it, passing in a conversation, whatever. It costs absolutely nothing, and it is very easy to do, and it is by far the best way to help the show out. And that's really all I have to say. I hope you've enjoyed this installment of Penalty on the Podcaster. I Just Want to Talk. You'll hear more of me next episode.